Rome 61 AD. The awe-inspiring Roman Empire stretches across the Mediterranean world, its monumental architecture and institutions the apex of civilizational progress. Yet troubling frontier wars and domestic fractures threatened stability. At such a precipitous moment, Marcus Aurelius is anointed emperor. Stoic student, quiet leader, and introspective philosopher, Marcus spent his earlier years immersed in books, self-discipline, and governance training to now lead humanity's greatest empire. Over the next 19 years, Marcus would face relentless wars, devastating plagues, rebellions, floods, and fires that tested Rome like never before, while all the while penning his masterwork, Meditations, crystallizing Stoic ideals of virtue, ration, and self-possession. Join us as we revisit in detail the incredible life and times of one of history's most admired figures, Marcus Aurelius. Walk the marbled halls of power, survey tense borders from military camps in winter, and reflect on what makes for meaningful living. Early life and education. To understand Marcus's empire-sized responsibilities and philosophical depth, we begin with his early life. Marcus Annius Verus, born in Rome in 121 AD, came from a well-established aristocratic lineage, making him a most pedigreed young Roman nobleman. The gens Annia family boasted both wealth and esteem. His paternal grandfather, Marcus Annius Verus, was a distinguished senator and city prefect. Though Marcus's own father passed early, he was raised by proud and principled mother Domitia Lucilla. Young Marcus displayed great talents befitting namesake ancestors. He gravitated to books and tutors, demonstrating sharp intellect and discipline beyond years. 3 pedagogues in particular nurtured Marcus's highest faculties. Diognetus introduced an interest in painting and calligraphy, then philosophy. Herod Agrippa educated Marcus on geography and science. Junius Rusticus, himself an esteemed Stoic, selected readings and guided philosophical inquiry, especially on ethics and self-restraint. Already in early teens, Marcus adopted personal maxims like not to have frequented public schools and to have had good teachers at home, signifying the focused young man in the making. Indeed, by late youth, Marcus had thoroughly imbibed Greek and Roman thought from Plato, Aristotle, Epicurus, and most of all, the Stoic school, stressing civic virtue aligned with nature's reason. This world of ideas profoundly impacted the impressionable Marcus, providing intellectual foundations for life ahead. Path to the throne, Marcus came of age when the Antonine dynasty ushered in Roman concord and prosperity. Fortunately for him, imperial succession processes offered a clearly paved yet highly obligatory path to power. The seeds were laid in 138 AD when reigning Emperor Hadrian selected his adopted heir Antoninus Pius as successor. Per formal Roman adoption, proceduris colled adrogatio, Antonius adopted Marcus, then just a 17-year-old. Overnight, Marcus gained the title Caesar, cementing his future inheritance of imperial authority. Marcus's grooming intensified under Antoninus Pius's direct mentorship. He married Antoninus's daughter Faustina and accompanied Pius across various Roman provinces, learning governance complexities, infrastructure needs, and military strategies. Marcus also served as city prefect and consul, drafted legislation, and gave public speeches and rulings. Over 2 decades, Marcus gained sufficient imperial exposure, such that on Antoninus Pius's death in 161 AD, Marcus's transition as Augustus represented continuity and stability at Rome's highest office. Philosophical development. While handed authority to govern civilization's greatest empire, Marcus, unlike predecessors, faced immense scrutiny due to his introspective nature. To counter critics as too bookish or uninspiring, Marcus publicly projected strength, decisiveness, and connection with military citizenry. Privately, however, philosophical reflection remained Marcus's anchor, offering serenity amidst chaos. At day's end, Marcus steadied volatile surroundings by writing tender Stoic reflections we now hail as his Meditations. These intimate notes perfectly illustrate Marcus's philosophical ideals. He stresses excellence of thought and action, upholding reason when reacting to events. remembering all things fade and change, focusing each day on progressing virtues, finding meaning through duty and unity with mankind. Ever the diligent self-teacher, Marcus spends lengthy passages clarifying how to translate such lofty Stoic principles into daily practice when besieged by demands and temptations. His meditations thus become the ultimate medium strengthening Marcus to meet phenomenal adversity ahead. Challenges of his reign. Despite scholarly wisdom, even Marcus couldn't escape history's unpredictability and the immense tests of his era. The initial crisis arose along the northern frontiers from aggressive Germanic tribal confederations battering Roman towns and fortifications. From his meditations, "The cucumber is bitter, throw it away. There are brambles in the path. Step to one side, that is enough. Do not complain. Such little things do no harm to freedom and independence." Marcus traveled constantly through frontier garrisons across the Rhine and Danube, leading counterattacks and negotiating with barbarian kings. After several hard-won victories, Marcus granted new territories in Marcomannia, creating buffer Roman client states. However, just as the border stabilized, another scourge threatened the empire's interior. The returning legions and traitors introduced a horrific smallpox epidemic, eventually called the Antonine Plague. Lasting over 15 apocalyptic years through the 160s AD, at its height, the highly contagious virus killed up to 5,000 citizens daily, forcing Marcus to appoint emergency health administrators. The plague nearly claimed Marcus too had doctors not isolated him outside Rome. On recovering, Marcus focused immense efforts coordinating food supplies for stricken urban regions and maintaining continuity of civic offices despite massive casualties. As plague abated and stability restored, Marcus then faced simmering political tensions stemming from rising Christian influence. Despite no fanatic himself, Marcus revived religious persecution to appease traditionalists and suppress subversive activity. While Marcus fended repeated military and health crises, he endured profound personal anguish, personal life and character. Amidst the whipsaw changes facing his leadership, Marcus too wrestled internal upheaval. Regarding family, Marcus held initially warm relations with his empress Faustina the Younger, bearing 13 children including future heir Commodus. However, Faustina seemingly embraced court life's dark temptations later, straying into scandalous affairs that tortured Marcus. Marcus then agonized seeing Commodus's erratic nature, unable to nurture this progeny into ethical leadership. One by one, Marcus painfully lost his children. 4 sons and a beloved daughter died young, 3 girls newborn with only the unstable Commodus surviving. Concurrently, Marcus felt isolated as tensions flared between key lieutenants, fearing succession. Old allies plotted treason, lead generals denied battlefield commands due to Commodus's meddling. Even his trusted teacher Quinctius Attalus betrayed the throne before being executed. Amidst profound personal anguish, however, Marcus endured magnificently. Channeling Stoic teachings, he focused energies where they mattered most and kept steadfast commitment to necessities of office. Such poise well captures Marcus's unshakable sense of duty and resilience against adversity, within and without. Death and legacy. Like all good things, Marcus's courageous 19-year rule had to end. Many historians cite Marcus fell severely ill amidst military campaigns against Germanic tribes along the marshy Danube in 180 AD. Refusing to abandon troops, still he battled fever till it consumed frail health, forcing return to Rome. Marcus Aurelius died age 59 en route, uttering final wishes to his generals. His remains traveled later back down Italia's eastern plains into the capital. All Rome plunged into mourning their finest leader. The Senate officially deified Marcus as the final great emperor, granting him the title Divus Aurelius. Though they had grown frustrated with Marcus's constant warfare focus, his integrity and care to minimize suffering won their esteem. Laid with full funeral rites, Marcus's ashes finally interred in Hadrian's great mausoleum, his legacy now etched for posterity. Marcus Aurelius in modern times, The light of Marcus Aurelius's impact shines brightly even today, nearly 20 centuries later. We continue seeing Marcus epitomize the enlightened philosopher king, who upheld principles and reason always, including while leading humanity's greatest empire for 2 challenging decades. In many fields, the imprint of his stoic virtues and leadership excellence endure, from philosophy to psychology to professional ethics and contemporary politics. Indeed, for statesmanship and personal conduct, Marcus's Meditation still ranks among the most impactful self-help manuals. It illuminates upholding integrity, dutifulness, and courage as the highest virtues to seeing life's tests as strengthening experiences. Conclusion: the exceptional life of Marcus Aurelius demonstrates humanity's highest potential actualized into existence. As emperor and courageous commander, Marcus shepherded millions through deeply turbulent eras with practical wisdom, foresight, and devoted care centered on societal well-being. As Stoicism's most eminent torchbearer, Marcus manifested personal self-discipline alongside public largesse at the highest offices of state with sincere consistency between his principles and power. And through his intimate writings, Marcus helps millions over history by explaining life's common struggles we all face and how courage and reason can uplift our brief existence. Truly, it is incredible that someone who walked this earth nearly 2,000 years ago retains such acute relevance and resonance. If Marcus Aurelius could issue any last maxim for modern listeners, perhaps it would be this. From Book 8 of his Meditations: do not act as if you had 10,000 years to live, while you have life in you. While you still can, make yourself good. On that timeless call for human excellence despite mortality, we conclude our journey through the incredible life of Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, Stoic philosopher, and humanist exemplar for all ages. Thank you for joining us, and as always, stay stoic.